like to acknowledge and thank the Coast Salish nations of Musqueam, Tsleil-Waututh, and Squamish, on whose traditional territory we teach, learn, live, and play. It's my pleasure to welcome you. I am the proud principal of Morley Elementary School, Blake Briscoe. Our event today includes a special welcome, speakers, and a glimpse of the talents of some of Morley's students. I'd like to introduce the MLA for Burnaby Centre, who will be your MC. I'm pleased to invite Ann Kang, the Minister of Tourism, Arts, Culture, and Sports, to the podium.
Thank you so much, Mr. Briscoe, for that kind introduction. Hi, everyone. My name is Ann Kang. I'm the MLA for Burnaby Centre, as well as a previous Burnaby School District teacher, and so glad to be back in our school system here and enjoying the beautiful playground and the day today. I will now like to invite Luna Gladu, a grade 3 student here at Morley Elementary School, to provide the land acknowledgement. Lana?
Good morning, everyone. My name is Luna Jean Gladu, and I am a proud Indigenous student who is originally from Alexander First Nation, Treaty 6 territory. I am proud to have an amazing, loving mom named Sasha, who is here to take such good care of me and makes my life easier. I am a grade 3 student who feels privileged to have the opportunity to learn on the land of the Musqueam, Tsleil-Waututh, and Squamish nations as a visitor on these lands. I have learned so much about the strengths of our local Indigenous people and their connections to the oceans, the rivers, the mountains, the forests, and all creatures above and below. As a visitor here, I am committed to do no harm to these lands, to take care of these lands so future generations can thrive here, as I do, and to honor the strengths of our local people by learning as much as I can from local elders and knowledge keepers. I feel lucky to be a student at Morley Elementary School because I feel safe and seen here. The teachers are nice, and I have made really good connections with all the students and staff. I feel pride in who I am, and I feel free to be myself and express who I am here. Thank you to everyone who has enhanced our school by gifting us this new amazing playground. For the best part is the new swing on the side. Thank you for listening to me today. I appreciate the opportunity to speak to all of you.
Thank you so much, Luna, for that land acknowledgement. It's very beautiful. Now, next, I am so excited to be inviting our next group, conducted by one of the most amazing music teachers. One of the many music teachers that we have here in the Burnaby School District, Miss Catherine Rapp. And this grade 2 and 3 choir will sing us a song called Leave the World a Little Bit Better by Charlotte Diamond. Miss Rapp?
Leave the world just a little
Let's give another round of applause to the grade 2s and 3s and Miss Rep for their beautiful, inspired music. That was certainly a high point and a high pitch to our announcement today. So we're going to have some photos with all of the speakers that are here today with the students. Can we get everyone to be a little bit closer? So shoulder touching shoulder. If you're not touching someone's shoulder, that means it's almost against. Coming back here. Teachers, you can go in.
Okay, can everyone look here first, please, at my camera?
And say cheese! Cheese! One more cheese! Cheese!
Anyone else need a shot?
Here, 1, 2, 3. Cheese! Cheese! Good job, you guys!
Well, that certainly was the most amazing highlight of my morning so far. So we'll just give the students some time to get back to their classrooms and get back to their academics. But we'll see you back in the playground. And so now to the business in hand. I'd like to introduce the speakers with us today. We have Premier David Eby, Bowinn Ma, BC's Minister of Infrastructure, Kristin Schnider, Chair of Burnaby Board of Education, Non Ha, the Executive Director of BC Confederation of Parent Advisory Council and Burnaby Parent. We also have many other important guests joining us today, including our Burnaby MLAs, Janet Rutledge, Raj Chauhan, and Paul Choi, and Rohini Arora. We also have Morley Elementary staff and students, Burnaby Superintendent of Schools Karim Hatchleaf, Burnaby School District staff and PAC reps here, and Burnaby Board of Education staff. Thank you so much, staff, for being here. And of course, Vice Chair of Burnaby School Trustee Jen Mezzi is also here. And everyone else in attendance today, welcome. I'm so excited to be here at the home of Burnaby today for an exciting announcement that will benefit many students and families in communities throughout the province. I will kick it off now to Mike, over to Premier David Eby to talk about today's exciting announcement. Premier?
Thanks, Anne. Good morning. Thank you to Morley Elementary. Thank you, Principal Briscoe. Thank you to that amazing grade 2 and 3 choir and Luna and Sasha. Amazing work on the opening acknowledgement of the territory. It is great to see such a happy and healthy and energetic school community that you have here, and a beautiful new playground behind us, which is a bit of a hint about what we're here to talk about today in Burnaby with my amazing, hardworking Burnaby colleagues from every corner of this remarkable city. Playgrounds are central to the school experience at a time when we want kids off of screens and we want them using their bodies and we want them working out conflicts with each other and learning how to be good friends. The playground is where that business gets done. And when we build playgrounds today, it's not like the old days. These are playgrounds that are fully accessible, which means that no kid feels left out, that they're not able to play and join in. And one of the other realities that we've seen is the impacts of global inflation mean that the cost of installing a new playground has increased dramatically for schools and parent advisory councils that under previous governments had been required to fundraise directly to be able to pay for these facilities for kids, which are really part of the school building. Parent advisory councils should be fundraising for things like hot lunches or other programs that improve the quality of school life for kids, not for playgrounds. And that's why our government made a commitment from early on that we were going to step up and provide that funding for schools. And that's why I am really pleased to be here today to say that that work is continuing and that this year, 25 school communities in the province of British Columbia will receive $200,000 each towards a new playground. These are schools right across British Columbia, places like Quesnel and Richmond and Haida Gwaii, Peace River, Colwood, Kamloops, and here in Burnaby, funding will be going to Marlborough Elementary and Lockdale Community Elementary. Now, these new accessible playgrounds will be a huge contribution to the quality of school life so that kids get to be fit, burn off some of that energy before they head into the classroom so they can learn and enjoy some of the best parts about recess. I am honored to be here at Morley. It was an incredible welcome to the school. I know my colleagues are thrilled to be here too, and it's great to have partners like this in the city of Burnaby and right across this beautiful province of ours. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Premier, to this amazing announcement. As a Burnaby parent myself and as a teacher, I know the playground is such a precious place for students to get together, to make friends, to have their physical literacy, and to continue to stay healthy. So with that, I would like to introduce the amazing Minister of Infrastructure to make an announcement on this playground. Minister Ma.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Minister Kang. I'm speaking to the announcement that Premier Eby just made, so it's the same announcement, just to be clear. I am so grateful to be here, though, here in Burnaby with my colleagues. Wonderful way to start our announcement with the grade 2, 3, 4 class that sang for us, and Luna for that important land acknowledgement. Really just hats off to the entire school community for clearly fostering such an amazing environment for these children. School playgrounds, as you know, benefit not only the individual school community that they are built on, they benefit entire communities. And as a mother to a young toddler with a second one on the way, I know exactly how important those swings and those slides are to our young people. They're special places for kids to play, to learn, to grow, and they're developing important skills, balance, teamwork, sharing, complex negotiations, conflict resolution, all of that happens for young kids on playgrounds. As the Premier noted, we are investing this year $5 million for 25 school communities which works out to about $200,000 per school to deliver modern, accessible, fun school playgrounds. This playground here at Morley Elementary was actually funded with this fund last year and completed just this week. This is the 9th year in a row that our government has been able to make this investment for a total so far of $50 million, producing 332 playgrounds that benefit 88,000 students and hundreds of thousands more kids and communities. I have to say, my ministry is responsible for delivering over the next 3 years about $20 billion in capital investments. And this, by far, is my favorite investment to make. The joy to dollar ratio is just through the roof. Playgrounds not only, but that being said, playgrounds, of course, aren't the only thing that we're investing in. Since 2017, our government has made $7 billion of investments in the K-12 school sector, producing 47,000 new student seats and an additional 39,000 seismically safe seats. And of course, there is more to do. And as demand continues to grow in places like New Westminster and Burnaby, we're happy to support the development of a business case for the expansion and replacement of Maywood Community Elementary in Burnaby's Metrotown area. And in New Westminster, we'll be working on a business case to build 2 schools at the current location of Lord Tweedsmuir Elementary School. Once those plans are completed, they will be submitted to government for approval and next steps, and we'll continue to work with local school districts to find new ways to deliver the student seats that our communities need. Now, turning my attention back to playgrounds for a moment, I do want to thank the parent advisory councils that work so hard for their students, their kids, their school communities, and the community at large. This playground funding does a little bit to help ease the burden of fundraising on parent advisory councils, but those parents continue to put so much time, effort, energy, and passion into all that they do to support fun and important school initiatives. So thank you for the PAC at Morley that helped produce this playground. Let's play.
Thank you so much, Minister Ma. And I would also like to thank the Superintendent of Burnaby School District, Karen Hashlaff, for your leadership in this project and for your leadership for all amazing schools that we have here in Burnaby. Next, we would also like to invite Kristin Schnider, the chair for Burnaby Board of Education, to speak a few words.
Good morning. The students were amazing. Luna was amazing. I can't start without acknowledging the hard work of those students and the incredible, beautiful song that they provided us with and those opening words from Luna. On behalf of the Board of Education, it's my pleasure to be here to help celebrate the opening of Morley Elementary's new playground with you. A playground such as this is even more than what it seems. Playgrounds are so central to the student experience that when the structure is past its time, the entire school community feels the strain. For many years, spaces like this one were made possible through the extraordinary efforts of PACs and school communities. However, since 2018, we've seen an important shift with this government, recognizing the need for provincial support in renewing and replacing school playgrounds. I say that with personal and sincere appreciation, having once been a PAC volunteer myself, working tirelessly to fundraise playground equipment. As was mentioned, that burden used to fall exclusively on PACs, and now we're seeing a really important shift with this government, recognizing that and help filling that gap. I also want to take a moment to acknowledge parents in particular. Not only do they do fundraising efforts, but their advocacy. In recent weeks, we've seen through parents, they were quite critical in some tough times we saw in Burnaby, and I wanted to acknowledge the parents and school community for their hard work in that area. On behalf of the board, I also want to extend my deep appreciation to the PC government for recognizing both the importance of this investment and for their ongoing support of students and school communities. We are collectively aware of just how important play is in the lives of children. And in particular, accessible playgrounds like this one provide all students with inclusive and welcoming places to have fun together, where friendships are nurtured, skills are developed, and students can really enjoy play outside and exercise, as was already mentioned. It truly takes a village to make this reality for the students. And we're also grateful to the work of the school district facilities crew. They spent seemingly countless hours building this playground for the students in all kinds of weather. And while students will make great use of it, so will this community outside of school hours. If you come here on a weekend, you'll see parents and families and caregivers making connections with other families. And as such, this shiny new playground also supports building a strong community here in Burnaby. So on behalf of the board, I want to leave you with our ongoing commitment. We're pleased to partner with the provincial government, with parents and community, to continue contributing to contribute to creating a society in which students can learn and play in safe, inclusive, and welcoming environments. Students, congratulations on the new playground. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kristin, and thank you so much for being an amazing partner and collaborator with the Burnaby MLAs, with the Ministry of Infrastructure. I also hear that you are a great advocate for parents as well as teachers and students. So, Kristin, thank you so much for your advocacy and leadership. I would now like to invite Non Ha, Executive Director at the BC Confederation of Parent Advisory Councils and a Burnaby parent, to speak.
What an exciting day. I'm so proud to be here on behalf of BC CPAC as the Executive Director and also as a Burnaby parent. Today's announcement reflects who we are and what we value as a province. The province is investing in safe, inclusive space for our children to play, an investment that lessens the burden on PACs to fundraise for expensive playgrounds and allow them to focus on enriching school communities. As parents, we see playgrounds as a space where friendships begin, resilience takes shape, and where communities come to life. On behalf of parents and caregivers across the province, thank you to the leaders of our province for recognizing that building communities begin with supporting our children in every space where they learn, play, and thrive. Let's continue to invest and support the development of our future, the children. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Nan. And it is the voices of parents, the support that they give our school communities, our classrooms, our students, but also to teachers is what makes our school district so successful. And on behalf of the Burnaby MLAs who are here, we will continue to be advocates for Burnaby School District, the students here, making sure that they have great programming, but most of all, have a capital project, whether that's a new classroom, new school equipment, or a new playground that we're going to see. And I'm hoping that all of us will find the child spirit in ourselves today, and we're going to play a little bit with the kids. Are we allowed to do that? Premier's ready. All right, amazing. So now I am going to hand the mic over to Sasha, who will lead us through any media questions, and then afterwards we will head to the playground for some photo and fun. Thank you.
Thank you, Minister Kang, and thank you everyone for joining us here today at Morley Elementary. We're going to take questions from reporters on site now. All reporters will have one question and one follow-up. And we're going to start with Aaron MacArthur from Global News.
Hi, Premier. I do want to see you go down the slide. I think that would be awesome.
Something. That would be something.
The Supreme Court of British Columbia today issued concern about access to justice in rural parts of the province, going so far as to suggest in-custody trials may be affected and in-custody suspects may be released if not given speedy access to justice. What sorts of resources are in place from the province to ensure British Columbians everywhere have that access to the justice system?
Well, it's a crucial role of the provincial government to ensure that people in every corner of the province have access to key services, whether it's healthcare or education or the justice system. The province has done significant work with the courts around issues related to, for example, sheriff recruitment. We have a serious challenge around recruiting and retaining sheriffs. They're essential for trials to be able to go ahead. We've done a lot of work in the province around providing access to legal advice for people, including the Civil Resolution Tribunal, taking some of the load off of the courts through a virtual tribunal accessible to anyone in the province, and legal aid clinics available in every corner of the province. There was a significant shift in our policy related to car insurance that resulted in what typically had been a massive portion of the court's business in British Columbia dwindling to what is now a very small number of cases compared to the overall roster in British Columbia. In addition, for family law cases, we put in place essentially navigators for families that are experiencing family breakdowns so that they can minimize their court appearances in provincial court and in Supreme Court. All of these measures are to reduce demand on the courts and to ensure the courts have the services that they need. We'll continue to do that work. And it is crucial for all of us to work together. The Attorney General will work with the courts to ensure that we're able to deliver services. When we look at our province versus Ontario, and a crucially important area, criminal prosecutions, you see a huge number of what are called Jordan stays, which are where someone has been charged, is appearing in court, is supposed to be tried, but then the case doesn't go ahead because it hasn't taken place within the timeline prescribed by the Supreme Court of Canada. Ontario has a very serious challenge with that. We have a much lesser challenge here. It is a huge priority for us to make sure that those cases get to court and get tried.
And as a follow-up, I wanted to talk about the healthcare contracts that were canceled yesterday. I don't know if this is for you or Minister Ma. Several of those contracts involve long-term care facilities. Given the demands on the acute care system and families looking for long-term care, how is canceling those contracts in British Columbians' best interest?
I'll pass the larger question over to Minister Ma, but I will speak briefly about it. Big picture, we have to deliver a huge amount of long-term care beds across the province, and we simply cannot do it if the cost is $1.8 million a bed. That was the cost on one particular project that was put on hold. We have to drive those costs down because we have to deliver more beds. It's a very straightforward formula for us. In addition, we've dramatically expanded at-home care, hospital at home, so that people don't have to go into long-term care. They don't have to stay in the hospital. We're doing these two pieces of work. But I'm here in Burnaby, and I just want to share, I met this morning with Burnaby Hospital Foundation representatives of the Burnaby staff at the hospital, the doctors and nurses, and key members of the community to discuss our decision to put to repace the Burnaby Hospital. And it's clear to me that two things are needed. First of all is a reassurance, which I am happy to give, that this project will go ahead. The province is committed to this project. It was announced by Premier Horgan, recommitting to it as Premier of British Columbia. We will deliver this project. It was also equally clear to me that this project was off the rails. It was over budget. It had completely changed the siting and the scope of the project in a way that key community members, whether the staff at the hospital foundation, key partners for us, did not feel included. And we have to have that reset. Canceling the construction contract enables us to have that reset to ensure the project, when we spend more than $1 billion on a hospital expansion, it has to include the community. It has to be done in a responsible way. And that is my commitment to the people of Burnaby. I'll pass it over to Minister Ma.
Thank you, Premier. I think the Premier largely answered the most important parts of the question. I can provide a little bit more detail and technical background on it, I suppose. So when it comes to the projects that were repaced or rescheduled through Budget 2026, they were selected for that rescheduling because it was recognized that these projects needed more work done on them for them to be ready to proceed to construction. So when it came to Burnaby Hospital Phase 2, when it came to the long-term care projects that were affected, these were projects that were grossly over budget, required more work to get those projects under budget, and required another look on how we actually deliver them so that these sorts of very important projects can be delivered sustainably for taxpayers. Now, the projects remain fully approved projects in the provincial capital plan. What was announced over the last few days were the cancellation of specific contracts that health authorities had entered into in anticipation of proceeding to the construction phase of these projects. However, because more work has to be done at the design phase and the project development phase, those contracts were no longer required. But again, all of these long-term care projects that have been talked about over the last few days and the Burnaby Hospital Phase 2 project remain approved projects within the BC government's capital plan.
Thank you, Minister Ma. Next, we're going to head to Cornelia from Freshet News.
Hi there again. Question either for Premier Eby or Minister Ma. My question is also about the cancellation of the Alliance contract for Burnaby Hospital Phase 2. You've answered this in broad strokes, perhaps, but my question is, why Burnaby when the Richmond project is going ahead and Burnaby was farther along in the Alliance development phase and at least $45 million had already been spent on it? What more work is there to be done?
Well, the short answer is the project is significantly over budget, and the community that needs to support it, endorse it, love it, champion it, the foundation, the doctors and nurses, key community members, city council and others, felt completely excluded from major decisions that have been made on the project, including taking down the parking garage, relocating the site from the master plan, original plan, to a site behind the hospital. When we invest more than $1 billion in a hospital project, the community has to be involved. They have to be at the table because we need them to support it. We don't want to spend $1 billion and have everybody say, why did you do this? And so there are key pieces of work for us to do. My assurance to the people of Burnaby is that it is definitely a sideways step to have to cancel the construction contract, but it is not a cancellation of the project. The project is going to go ahead, and we are going to use this opportunity to reconnect with those key stakeholders to make sure that this is a project that everyone will celebrate when the doors open. Phase 1 is beautiful. It is getting close to the point where we're going to be able to move over people from the old hospital into the new building. Phase 2 also needs to be a point of pride for the community.
Just to follow up there, how will delaying this project save money given the global inflation you talked about earlier, unless promised services and scope are cut?
This is the key work of the Ministry of Infrastructure with the community, with contractors and others. We have seen some deflation in contracting out major projects in the province as we see the impact of a slowing global economy on British Columbia. But there is a lot of work that we need to do with the community members, the foundation, the staff at the hospital, the original master plan for the site, be respectful of the work that's been done, and find that path forward together. I am convinced that we can do it. And in my meeting this morning, all of the key stakeholders were convinced that we could do that as well.
Next, we'll go to Radio Canada.
Thank you. Thanks, Premier, for taking my question. Permanent residency applicants are rallying in Vancouver today, asking for certainty. Some of their applications have years, are waiting for years. There's doctors and engineers waiting. I just wondered if you had a reaction to that, maybe a message to the federal government. I'm not sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm heartbroken about some of the stories I'm hearing from people who have come to British Columbia, who want to stay here, who want to work. I mean, most recently we had a midwife who was sent back to Scotland when we desperately needed her services. We've had health professionals that haven't been able to stay. I brought the message directly, repeatedly, personally to the Minister of Immigration. And our request is very straightforward. These are people who are working in our province. We want them to be able to stay. We want to be able to offer them citizenship. And our ability to do so, the program that we used to offer citizenship, has been cut in half. The number of people we can offer that to has been cut in half. And then we got notice that the number of temporary foreign workers we can be bringing in would be increased by 50% if we wanted it. And it just feels completely backwards to what we need to be doing. I'm very clear with the immigration minister about what needs to happen. We need to make sure we can access people who are fleeing the anti-science conspiracy theories of the United States, the private healthcare system and all its excesses. I met with hundreds of them in Nanaimo at a rally just the other day. They want to come here. And they are not just doctors and nurses. They are healthcare professionals of every stripe. And that is just one category. We cannot miss this opportunity. And I worry very much that we are. This is a message that I'll be bringing to the Western Premiers Conference when I meet with other premiers in Western Canada in Kananaskis soon. It will be a message I'm bringing to Council of Federation again in July. It's a message I regularly deliver to the Prime Minister. We cannot have an immigration system that swings between excesses, and that's what it's starting to look like. And I know that the Prime Minister understands this, and I need his minister to be delivering actions that are going to benefit British Columbians.
Thank you for that answer. My next question is about the playground, and I'm not sure if it's best now or later. I just wondered, when you mentioned there were features for accessibility, I just wondered if I could get a bit more details on those. I see the ramp there, but I wondered if anyone could talk to me about that now or later.
About accessibility features?
I can give it a shot.
Great.
I can speak to it at a high level, and maybe we'll follow up if there's additional features that we can point to. But you'll notice the ramp that allows for someone in a wheelchair user or a child with reduced mobility to actually participate on at least a portion of the playground. And you'll also notice the type of flooring that is used on the ground. The more traditional flooring, which you can see in other parts, other playgrounds on site, are definitely not accessible for somebody with mobility issues or a wheelchair user. And so that actually keeps the child completely off the playground and excludes them from play with their peers.
Thank you, Minister Ma, and thank you everyone for joining us today. That concludes the press conference, and let's go to the playground now.
out.
Okay, run.
Pretty good.